I truly do feel that if Lance is healthy, he's going and he's going to. They didn't want to go through the growing pains with him. They just didn't. They didn't.
Yeah, I think
but
it just
if Jimmy
goes back,
G is hurt, banged up, ineffective, they've got to make that move.
Yeah, it just goes back, I think, to like the offseason and through the preseason that Kyle Shanahan either hoped or expected that Lance would just take control and kind of stranglehold this starting job, and he just didn't. So now you're stuck in a situation where you have to start Jimmy Garoppolo, and then any sign of wavering, faltering, indecision, bad play, boom, he's out. But then they didn't expect Lance getting injured. Now you got to go back to him. It's just they kind of created this scenario themselves by not trading Jimmy in the offseason.
Well, here's the way, just to lay it all out. Now that we're 7 weeks in, this is week 8 beginning tonight. 5 first-round drafted quarterbacks, where 3 teams just threw the kid right in.
Yep.
Cleared the decks, threw the kid right in. Jaguars and Jets had the decks already clear, right?
Right.
Patriots cleared the deck, told Cam, thank you, we've got it from here.
Yep.
And the Jaguars and the Jets, coming off of such a dreadful 2020 season, knew that these guys are just going to go through their lumps, and that's it, and we're going to take it, and we're going to hopefully win more games than people expect.
Right.
The Patriots went on a spending spree, weren't nearly as bad as obviously Jacksonville or the Jets were last year, and surrounded their rookie with not just as many weapons as they possibly could through free agency. And we don't talk about the Patriots' weapons because they're not on many fantasy teams. But what their biggest weapon is that playbook and that coaching staff. And they got him ready. Boy, did they get him ready. And that's been the most successful out of any of the rookie quarterback situations yet. So let's put a check mark against that. That's a way to just throw the kid in, but you can also evaluate him because you have the weapons and also that playbook and the coaching staff that has done it and knows how to do it and how to coach it. And luckily, Mac Jones is one of those prospects who soaks that in and processes it and can execute it. Boy, can he execute it. Then you've got the Bears and the Niners. And the Bears, what they did was like, we're going to let our guy sit and marinate for as long as possible because Matt Nagy, have seen that happen in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes. So we're going to let Justin Fields sit as much as possible and maybe sprinkle him in here and there. Maybe. And then they did in week 1, right? In Los Angeles. As a matter of fact, Justin Fields scored a touchdown in week 1.
To start the game.
Okay. But they weren't going to sprinkle him in nearly as much as we expected the 49ers to do with their guy.
Who also had a touchdown
in week 1. As a matter of fact, the first touchdown pass of the season for the 49ers was thrown by Trey Lance in Detroit. But the difference between those two things was the Bears were like, we're gonna just sit our guy and let him marinate because we've got Andy Dalton. And that was very difficult to sell to a fan base that had not seen somebody like Fields drafted and put into place as the guy in Chicago. They have not seen a first-round drafted QB thrown in there like that other than Trubisky, but Fields came in with a lot more hullabaloo than Mitchell.
Well, he had some preseason moments, too. We were like, okay, let's go.
So that was that situation, and it has worked out since they turned to Fields as we knew they would have to. It's worked out in that he's won some games, but boy, has he been beaten up, taking his lumps for this team.
Yeah.
Now you've got, so I'll put them in the second position right now of quarterbacks that have done well so far, and the quarterback situation's worked out. Would you put Jacksonville too?
Yeah.
You put Jacksonville too?
I would put Trevor too, yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about in terms of talent and upside. I'm talking about through 7 weeks of a season. They've won more games with Justin Fields than they have in Jacksonville.
But because of Justin Fields?
I'm not saying because of him.
Okay.
I'm saying you're still putting wins in a ledger,
Okay, that's fine.
and you're trying to win a season and a playoff spot
The Bears
again.
yeah, you're right.
Okay.
The Bears are a playoff team right now.
And
yeah,
so
you're right.
then there's the 49ers, who tried to do both from jump. We're going to mix him in, but we've got our veteran because he took us to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and the locker room loves him, and we could carry him in with a cap. We're going to do both. And the issue with that is Jimmy G just cannot stay completely healthy for a season full. I mean, we did see the year of the Super Bowl. He was able to, but
that's been it.
This, other than that, he just hasn't, even when he had a shot, when Brady was hurt, right?
No, Brady was suspended.
I mean, Brady was suspended, right?
He got hurt.
He got hurt in that, and Jacoby
game.
Brissett they had to turn to him there.
Yeah. He's played one full season.
So Lance is a guy who might have been the most green out of everybody. He didn't even play football last year.
Yeah, one game.
So now they're caught in between where Garoppolo gets hurt and then he returns and he's ineffective and Lance isn't ready because he's hurt and then maybe he's just not ready, period. And that just hasn't worked out. They're 2-4. You are what you are. You're 2-4. And this is a team that thought they could challenge this year and let their guy marinate and sprinkle him in. And they're 2-4. And they literally have zero quarterbacks, it feels like, because Garoppolo's hurt. Now Lance is hurt, and Garoppolo returns. He's ineffective. And the one time that Lance played, he got hurt, and he wasn't nearly as effective as you need to be. You lose on the road to a division opponent. And now you're wondering, in my estimation, should they just go ahead, rip the Band-Aid off, and join the same boat as the Jets and the Jaguars? And I know that's tough to be included in the same sentence as that, but you take your lumps with this kid. You take your lumps, and you do have the weapons like the Patriots have to support him. Kittle, if he's healthy, and Debo, and Ayuk, for whatever the hell reason, is gone.
Well, that was going to be my point, too, is like their plan kind of fell apart when they had all the running back injuries, and then Kittle goes down, and then Ayuk is kind of underperforming to the level that they expected. And so when you don't have those pieces around a rookie quarterback, it really exposes, his limitations.
I mean, this is the snapshot as we enter Week 8 tonight of the rookie quarterback situation. So I would go with clear number one is New England. My God, is that number one?
Yeah, he's been
okay.
great.
And then number two, I'll go with Chicago because they're getting Fields those lumps. I'm telling you, Chicago, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, they have 3 wins. They're in the playoff mix.
Right.
It, so.
Three is Jacksonville.
I think so.
4 is San Francisco. They have 2 wins.
Yeah, but not because of him.
I don't know. It's just tough to put the Jets above San Francisco here because, I mean, the kid won one game. He's hurt now. He had no weapons really around him. They lost their left tackle. So I guess they're tied. Let's do that. I'll give Jets half a win.
But I guess if you look at the film, like Zach Wilson is playing better than Lance.
Yeah,
when he's
out
there.
I guess so. Because the problem for San Francisco is they need Lance now. They need him.
Yeah.
And he's not ready, and he's not maybe seasoned enough. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.